Done? Thank you. Come on then. Jesus Christ. Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to the Animorphs Reviews YouTube channel. We've been looking for the best Animorphs covers of the whole series, all 64 books, and this video is basically just talking to you about that and having a look over the qualifying round, because not only are we going to find the favourite book cover, we're also going to find the least favourite book cover, in much the same way that we found out the favourite and least favourite books from the series. So let's have a look at some of the results from the preliminary round, where we find out which book's going to go into the winners bracket and which ones are going to go into the losers bracket. And what we're going to do then is we're going to do the losers bracket first, because I like to get the negative out of the way before we finish with the positive. So as soon as this video goes up, the first poll will be up. And then we're going to start with the whole loser stuff first, and we're going to find out which is the least favourite book of the series, including Alternamorphs, Megamorphs, etc, etc. Thank you very much for your votes. There were quite a lot of votes, actually, because I think the channel is getting bigger, and so when I do these polls, there are going to be more and more votes coming in. So I'd say we probably averaged about 80 votes per poll, which I think gives a good indication of what the majority of fans would think any given way. And for that reason, I'm not surprised that there aren't really many shocks in this preliminary round. So the big hitters, of course, have gone through. So the first poll that went up was Hawkbajir Chronicles against the Deception, and it was an overwhelming victory for the Hawkbajir Chronicles, 82% to 18%. I remember one of my favourite comments was somebody saying that the... who was it again? Joshua Thompson says the Deception looks like a tie-dye shirt, which I get, you know, I can see it. And I'm not surprised that Hawkbajir Chronicles won that one. Then you had Revelation beating The Proposal, which was a bit more one-sided than I would have predicted, really, because they're both, I'd say, a similar standard of book cover. Revelation won that one. Of course, Back to Before won, because that's a cracking book cover, beat The Illusion. And then most of these are, pretty obvious. Elmis Chronicles went through. A closer one of the closer ones, was The Extreme versus The Unexpected, which was, I would actually expected it to be quite close, because they're both all right. They're not bad covers, but I personally voted for The Unexpected, but The Extreme won, and I'm not that surprised with 61% of the vote. While we're going through this, we're going to look at the tightest and most clear victory. I'm pretty sure I know which one was the most clear victory. We will see which one was the tightest. The Journey versus the Mutation was quite one-sided as well. The Mutation, for whatever you think about the book, it is a good cover. My dear, Tiggles wants to come in. Cat scratching at the door in the background. The Beginning beat The Encounter, and like Chronicles, which is probably one of the favourites. 86% against The Decision's 14%. I think And Like Chronicles has got to be one of the forerunners in this competition. One of the fears that I had with this polling system is that people would just pick their favourite book. There'd be like a favourite book bias. I think this one here, The Forgotten versus The Solution, is proof, to some degree, that is not the case, that people are actually voting as intended. By that, I mean they voted for the favourite covers regardless of the actual contents of the books. It's basically we're looking at just covers. There are some people that admit a bias here or there, but considering The Forgotten beat The Solution by 69 to 31, I think is a good indication that, yeah, people were taking this poll for what it was. Because The Solution, I think, for most people, is a much better book than The Forgotten. But the cover of The Forgotten is better than the cover of The Solution. So, yeah, thank you for doing as you were expected, I suppose. Close one was Predator vs. Capture. Didn't actually turn out to be that close in the end. Okay, so 88% to 13. I think they've just rounded that up. The Stranger versus The Separation. 88 to 13. Yeah, I think that was the biggest gap between books. I think this one was the resounding winner, The Stranger, of this round, with a whopping 88%. Not surprising it was up against the separation, but still, it's not to be sniffed at. And then we went to right to one of the closer ones. The Attack versus the Escape. Both really good covers. Both very good covers. I forget which way I voted for this one. But if there is book bias, as I talked about earlier with the Forgotten Solution, it'd be interesting to see what sort of percentage that counts for. In which case, would the Escape have actually just edged this one? If it wasn't for the fact that the Attack was a superior book in probably most people's eyes, I'd say. But the Attack just squeezed past the Escape. I think that was the closest, 54 to 46. That one, the Departure is a good one as well. I think that one will do well. 80% to The Secret's 20%. And considering The Secret isn't a bad cover at all, yeah, that's a good result for the Departure. Visser beat the Sacrifice. The Alien beat the Android quite handily. This one was close as well. The Invasion versus the Familiar. Because I wouldn't say they're both great covers. I don't really like the Invasions, but it was like the prototype sort of thing. You know, it wasn't set in stone how it was done. And the Familiar, I think a lot of people find a bit boring. And it could have gone either way, this one, but I've just seen the above one is actually the closest, by the way. But yeah, Familiar just edged that one. But look at this. The Weakness. Actually, my dear, The Weakness wasn't voted the worst at something. It just about 52% to 48 has the better book cover than The Exposed. So, well done, The Weakness. Everybody, round of applause. Round of applause, yes, my dear, for The Weakness. It isn't a complete failure. Only a small failure. So small. The Threat beat the Ultimate. Here's one for you. Alternamorph's First Journey beat the Hidden. So,
Who's your co-host?
My co-host? I don't know. She's over there. Yeah, the Alternamorph's First Journey actually won against the Hidden, which not that surprising, but still, Alternamorph's doing well. More than can be said for its compatriot, which went down 71 to 29 against the Pretender. I don't think that's going to end up being the worst cover, but you never know. I'd say probably... I think the Andlight's Gift might get that one, actually. You've also got The Separation, which is just notorious for bad book cover, but we'll see how that goes. Apart from that, I think they're all pretty obvious. The Prophecy beat the Underground. I thought that would be tighter than it ended up being. Elfangor's Secret went through. Not by as much as I'd have thought. And there's the Andlight's Gift. It actually got 25% against the Message. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe actually the Andlight's Gift has some fans. The cover has some fans. Because 75 to 25 against the Message, which is a pretty damn good book cover. That's not bad going, really. Change beat the In Time of Dinosaurs. And then the last one... Yeah, the last one was Reaction beating the Absolute. So those were the results from the preliminary round. So now they get separated into two brackets. The losers from the first round and the winners from the first round. So we're going to do the losers first. We're going to find which the least popular book cover is before we enter that winners bracket and do the big, this is everyone's favourite. So the way it's going to work, just for clarification, vote for your favourite in any poll. Don't think, oh, this is the loser's bracket. I think that one's the worst, so I'm going to vote for that one. No, for every poll, vote for your favourite. So if the Absolute and In the Time of Dinosaurs are up against each other and you think, oh, In the Time of Dinosaurs is my favourite of those two losers, then vote for that, okay? So, yeah, I think you understand it. Don't want to rub it. I don't want to, push it too much. It probably comes across as a bit patronising. But yeah, so that's that. I hope we get just as many votes for the next few rounds. Let's do it. Let's see what the fans think about the best and worst book covers of the series. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for taking part. and I shall see you next time. Have fun voting, and I'll probably do an update as we get into like the semi-final territory, something like that. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra.